Why, hello! Welcome to another day in The Last Caretaker. The sun's coming up. What I thought I would do is take a quick look at solar panels, or really electrical generation in general. So what we're going to do is start with the solar panels. I've got the three types set up here. We've got the Lumi Light, the Lumi Mid, and the Lumi Max. So I will post what each solar panel requirements are. And I thought we'd just do a quick little test here to see what their production is on a typical day. So the Lumi Max, your best solar panel, advanced level. Here we're early morning. This one's got full sunshine. We're producing 8 kilowatts. 8 kilowatts, that seems pretty stable. We'll see how it goes as the sun rises. The Lumi Mid produces 4.8, so almost half. 4.8 kilowatt production. And this little guy, it looks like the little guy's got the sunshine now. The shade's gone. Oh boy, it's only producing 0.9. Maybe 1 kilowatt. So because it's flat, the little guy's flat, I expect that as the sun rises, we may get a little more production out of the little guy. So you notice that if you're new to the game, before you leave Sanctuary, you might be able to get to the level to open the Lumi Mid. So let's just take a quick look at the level while the sun continues rising. So level 2, you can do the Lumi Light. Right in the description, it says it's capable of generating 900 watts. So the Lumi Mid, optimal conditions, up to 2,000 watt hours or 2 kilowatts. But we're at 3.4, 3.3. So a little better, right? And so that's at level 6. Now the Lumi Max is down at level 13. And it says it can generate 4,000 watt hours. So I'm not... Oh, now we're in the rain, so we're all messed up. Unless that's an average condition. Because in the rain here, we have dropped significantly. Right, this was at 8 kilowatts. It is now producing 2 kilowatts in the rain. .2 kilowatts, and this little guy is 360 watts. Anyway, so my suggestion, my recommendation is if you're new to the game, before you leave Sanctuary, try and get to this level. Try and get to the Lumi Mid level, which is only level 6. You might want to even hit level 8 so you can do a diesel tank and a medium battery. Because these little guys are useless. You do have a quest that you have to do once you leave Sanctuary and build one of these little guys. But I say wait to get the Lumi Mid. And then a good chunk of the game you'll only be using the Lumi Mid before you have the ability to move to the Lumi Max. Now the Lumi Max takes a lot more inputs, right? The material needed to build it is a lot higher, but you almost get double production. Rain stops, sun's out again. We're almost back to the 8. And we're at the 4.6 on this one. And this one at the 1.6. So, solar panels. The best thing about solar panels, a solar panel battery combination, is that you virtually have no maintenance required. These things will never need to be repaired due to weather conditions. They might take damage if you have enemies shooting and hitting them, but otherwise these things run maintenance free, and they'll just keep producing electricity and storing it excess in the batteries. So that's the big pro with the solar panels. The con, and why some people don't like them, is because solar panels do not produce at nighttime, and their production goes down during the rainstorms which we just had. That's why you may want to avoid solar panels. For me personally, I prefer them. They're my number one choice, with usually a backup on wind generation. We're going to destroy this Lumi mid. And we're going to place it right behind the Lumi Max. Let's get it down as quick as we can here. Let's put it about here. The reason I'm doing that is because as we turn here towards the sun, this Lumi mid is going to be shaded, partially shaded here by the Lumi Max. And look at the production drop. So this was, you know, I had... look at the production. Look how variable it is. Goes up to 4, down. And that's what I said in one of my earlier videos, is that the solar panels are actually affected by shade from another solar panel. And which is why in my best boat build video, I recommended spreading these solar panels out. Some people disputed that claim, but I think you can see here, there's definitely something going on when it's in the shade of another solar panel. It almost goes to 0. Right? Up, down, you're getting really poor production out of it. It has a little bit of sun. I don't know if you can see it on the top. It's getting a little bit of sunshine, which is why you're getting a tiny bit of production off and on. But it's definitely messed up because you don't see that variation on the one that's in the full sun. All right, so skip the Lumi light. Start out with the Lumi mid. I say eventually move to the Lumi Max when you can afford it. The materials required to repair are virtually nothing. So once you have the materials that will allow you to build one, build it. The excess production is fantastic. And remember, on your boat or anywhere you build solar panels, remember to spread them out and try to keep them out of the shade of the other solar panel. All right, there you have solar panels. All right, why don't we talk about wind turbines for producing electricity? Here are the 3 types of wind turbines, starting with the small one, which is the Whisper. Then we have the Cyclone, and finally the Typhoon. So the levels required for each of these. Oops, we're gonna go to skills. Level 3, you can make the Whisper. So you should have the ability to put a Whisper on your boat before you leave for sure. If you do as I suggest and try and get to level 8 before you leave Sanctuary, you could put a Cyclone on the boat. And the final one, the Typhoon, that's down at level 14. So here, it's fairly calm. We're not producing much wind at the moment. Again, this stuff is variable. Here we're getting 1 kilowatt production out of the little guy, the Whisper. The Cyclone, we're getting 2.6, so you're well over double. And the Typhoon is producing 5.5, which is almost double. It's about double, almost, just shy maybe of double again. So, the benefits of wind is you're going to get production, a more stable production, let's say, because they're almost always spinning. So throughout the entire day cycle of the game, you're going to be getting production of electricity. They also don't really take up as much space because they're not spinning to face the sun. They're fairly compact, tower formation. So in that way, you can put them closer together. If you build one next to the other, it's not really going to affect the wind generation of the other one. If you shelter it, it might get blocked by the wind, but out on your boat, I mean, you can see my boat off in the distance. The wind is not blocked, right? Those things will spin all the time. Here we're getting into a big storm. As production, look at the production now in a storm. You're up to 14 kilowatts in a storm, 7 out of the middle one, and even 2.8 out of the small one. So the stormier it gets, the more these will produce. So if you remember from the solar panels, I think the top solar panel, the Lumi Max, would produce a max of 8 during the day. And this one in a storm, you're up towards 14. So you can get more production, certainly, throughout the day. Oh, what are we getting attacked? So you can certainly get more production throughout the day. Another pro. Of course, the con is these require constant maintenance. You are always having to repair these. Like every time you come into the game, you're going to be repairing these. So of course, the cheapest to repair, middle, and then the highest repair cost will be on the Typhoon. So if material is no problem for you, if you've been doing a lot of recycling, gathering, I say once you're able to, go right for the Typhoon. All right? Start at the Cyclone when you leave Sanctuary, and as soon as you're able to, move to the Typhoon. The little guy, only if you leave Sanctuary before you hit that level 8. I find that the actual material cost to repair is not really that high. So it's not a big deal. The only thing is it's a bit of a pain to have to go and repair them, all the time. I mean, we can take a quick look down here at my boat to see if they need repair. They look fine, right? So we'll pull out the wrench. Oops, we'll pull out the wrench, I said. See, they're at 50%. So at 50%, you can see what it's going to cost me, right? 7 iron, 3 copper, 2 plastic, 3 fabric, 1 glass, 1 silicone, and 1 aluminum. Your production of electricity, however, drops with the more durability loss they have. So we can't test this one because all my batteries are full. And this one's also at 60%. So similar repair costs. Now, I haven't had to use advanced materials like your titanium carbon fiber to repair those. I'm not saying you don't have to or it won't come up, but I haven't had to yet. Maybe because I keep them repaired and I don't let them get down to 0. All right, so there is wind power. And a good combination of wind and solar, you should be good to go, right? For your electrical power generation. All right, so the last way to produce electricity is the petrol generators. You have a small electrical generator at level 5 and a large electrical generator at level 15. So here we have both of these built. They require petrol to run, so you must have a supply of petrol. I've got mine hooked to my boat supply. They also, as a byproduct, will produce carbon dioxide. So you will need carbon dioxide at Exodus Station. So if you watch my Exodus Station video, you'll see I have one of these large generators built at Exodus Station. So let's turn, these should be, regardless of the weather, they should always produce the same amount of electricity. So the petrol, small electric generator producing 10 kilowatt hours. And it looks like it goes through about 2,000 liters an hour. 10 kilowatt hours, 2,000 liters an hour. So your production of the small generator will give you more electricity than the best solar panel, but at a significant fuel cost. Let's take a look at the large one now. The large one is going through almost 6,000 liters an hour, and it will produce 30 kilowatt hours. So it will produce an enormous amount of electricity, but the cost is insane. 6,000 liters an hour, that would drain your petrol tanks pretty fast. So, I mean, maybe some people like using these. I don't recommend them. I have my petrol tanks, which I use to refill my flamethrowers, my flamethrower pack, and also to transport petrol to Exodus Station. I don't want to be using petrol to make electricity. Right, so, I say stick with solar panels, stick with wind for electricity production, use the large generator at Exodus Station. You may even be able to get away with a small generator at Exodus Station. That would be my suggestion for these. Got these lights on in the middle of the day. All right, so there you have it, folks. That is my little talk on electricity production for the Last Caretaker. If you're new to the game, I hope you learned a couple things to avoid, and maybe figured out what best works for you. All right, if any of the viewers have any tips that they would like to share, or if you disagree with what I said, feel free to put that in the comments as well. If you have a favorite way of doing things, let other viewers know. All right, well, thank you very much for watching. Here, this is Chilero's Place, and I hope you watch some of my other videos. Stay tuned for new ones in the future. All right, thanks everybody. Take care now.